Get a big raise with that and everything, right? Bunch of money. I said that with a straight face.
Okay. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's Tuesday, February 13th, 2018. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Minutes and reports received and filed.
January 2018 collector fees filed.
Okay. Commissioner Committee liaison reports, upcoming meetings and events.
Got a planning commission meeting tonight. Lincoln's at home tonight. Valentine's Day tomorrow. Right.
Ash Wednesday, too.
Yeah, I was getting to that. God. Yeah, Ash Wednesday too. Solid Waste Management District Board meeting tomorrow. HBA General Membership meeting tomorrow night. Chamber Connections Thursday. Lincoln's at home again Thursday. Bless you. I think we got leadership meeting Friday morning. I won't be there. We got a FBLA districts up in Fulton. We'll be up there judging that. Public school groundbreaking Saturday. Monday's holiday, right? President's Day.
Yeah. It's also Lincoln Day.
So I don't know, we've got a political economic responsibility meeting scheduled that day for the Board of Realtors, and then Lincoln Day night is that night. That's about it.
EDAC meeting today for the RPC. What's going on right now? I don't think I have anything different than what Jeff said.
No, I got a meeting with Lieutenant Governor Parson tomorrow at 10. And Thursday, I got a Cap Region meeting. Friday, I've got a Harry S. Truman Foundation Board meeting. There is, Adam Brown wants to remind everybody there's Helias Knights of Columbus fish fry that he's going to be cooking. And then if you're not Catholic, you can go to Eagles and for the HCJ chicken dinner. And that is all I've got. Bids and contracts. Do we have somebody?
Contracts.
I just have the bid for the Russellville abatement property. So I don't know if that was what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 bids on this. Mag Alley, I think, is construction, is the lowest bid, and they were contacted because there was such a disparity between the bids, and they said they can still honor their bid at $4,900. So, if you guys got any questions, that would be the suggestion to award it to Mag Alley Construction. Did
There ain't no
anybody
way
else
he can do it for $4,900. I mean, there's no way he can pay the dump fees and the hauling for $4,900. So, I mean, there's no way I'm going to award it to him. And I'm not sure that the second guy can even do it for what he bid it for. So, I mean, I don't know.
So I talked to Bill, the owner, yesterday, and he claims that he has talked with recycling, who will actually pay him for the cardboard, according to Bill. And so that's where that would be a difference than what I think most of the others assumed, that, or whoever they talked to from recycling didn't necessarily indicate that. So that would be a difference. He feels comfortable with his bid.
I'd like to hold off on the bid our HHW, or not the HHW, but Solid Waste Management District, Leland or Hard would like to come down and take a look at it, and maybe they can work with them. If there's stuff to be recycled in there, they can get people to haul it off for little or nothing. So if some of the cardboard can be salvaged, I don't know what else was out there. I didn't make it out there for the pre-bid, but.
There's pallets, there's trash, there's,
So,
I mean, there's,
and I want him to work with the owners. I'd rather him work with the owners than us, because if they do give him some kind of grant to help him out and to keep the stuff out of the landfill, if he ever goes back and it becomes another crap hole, then he can be fined and imprisoned. So it'd be something we can maybe work with him on. If you want to talk to owners, I'd be glad to get him in touch with Leland. Leland would like to do a site visit, but I told him we were having this meeting this morning, and if we can wait. So, I don't know if you think that's a possibility. If they think they can do it by themselves and they want to get it done, then it's not costing us anything. We just got to figure out a time to put on it, probably. Do they have any kind of a plan
Who's that?
as far as cleaning it up?
The
Owner.
the owner.
owner? Oh, I'm sorry. When I was saying owner, it was the owner for the bid,
Right.
Mag Alley.
Oh, I thought you
Bill
meant the
was,
property.
and so, yeah, that's where I was
Okay.
confused with the two.
Sorry.
The owner of Mag Alley, Bill Williamson, I think it is. What is it, Patterson? And he's the one that actually said that they could do that, that they would be able to do it for that price because they could get money for that. Now, as far as the owner, I've never met or talked with the owner. We've tried to get in touch with them numerous times and we're unable to. So I don't know what
Well,
the owner of the property is.
We received a phone call from a law firm who is representing, I think, the son of the owner. And I think the owner has Alzheimer's and is in a home. So the son would like, to look at some other options too. So maybe probably, we might do better just to kind of wait and let Jeff look at it and see if I thought perhaps we'd have an attorney here today, but for the owners of this, but I guess not. But I think Jill's talked to him and
Have they requested an extension or anything then?
I spoke with the legal assistant.
Do we need her up here at the table so we can hear it? Or make everybody else do it? I mean, if they're listening, then they can hear exactly what we're saying.
I spoke with the legal assistant, and she said that they did want to come to the commission meeting to talk to you all, and she was supposed to, I told her, send me an email stating your situation. I'll pass it on to the commissioners and get it on the agenda. That was supposed to have been sent to me a week ago yesterday. I never heard back. So that's end of discussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can put these bids on hold if you like for at least until next week. I mean, I would think they would honor their prices for the 7 days out, and then we can do some more research on it. if
Does
that's
that
what
give you
want.
time to talk to?
Well, I guess where I'm at is we don't have anybody here today. I mean, we got a phone call, no telling who that was from.
Right.
Didn't get a letter. We don't have a lawyer here. We don't have a person here. I mean, obviously, if you want to try to do something, but I want to see it expedited so that we can proceed. It's gone on long enough, so anyway.
But you're not comfortable with that 4,900, that they could even do it for them?
I mean, I was there. I don't see it, but I mean, unless he's getting paid a lot for the cardboard, and there's no way. I mean, it's been sitting there
And
for a while.
You've even contacted,
We contacted him yesterday, and that's what he's counting on. Now, whether that actually holds true.
But I mean, you've actually contacted recycle places to look at that at one point, didn't you?
Yes, we did, and they said they would not pay for it. They would take it, but they would not pay for it.
Yep, you sent me the pictures, I forwarded them up to Leland. He took a look at it, and he'd like to take a look at the site, so I can see if he wants to come down here. I mean, how much trouble is that gonna be? We're gonna have to bring a sheriff's deputy with us, and is the owner actually working with us now?
There's somebody living
I
there.
have not, I still have not been in contact with him.
Has somebody living there?
Somebody's there, in and out of there.
I've heard that too, that they're in and out of there every day.
Squatter?
No, it's, do I need to feel, it's the son, I forgot. He
I'd
said-
probably hear you on these since you're standing up.
Chris.
He's catching better.
The legal assistant told me that the son has been working on trying to clean that up. So that's who's been on the property.
Well, there's been somebody there for the past month or 2 months or whatever, in and out. And we've left notices on their doors and all kinds of stuff to contact them. And if the son's been there, he's seen the notices.
We're not the only ones, DNR has also.
Right. So, I mean, obviously they're playing the Dodge game and thinking that it's just gonna go away. And so, if you want Leland to come down, I'm willing to wait a couple weeks, but, I mean,
Yeah, if you're all right with that, let's do that, because I don't want to spend $45,000 cleaning it up. So if we can figure something else out and they can work with the owner and they do it on their own, that'd be great. Because we're not going to see that 45,000 back,
I agree.
No.
I agree.
so.
But I mean, I think, we need some contact with the owner otherwise, or the owner's son, or an attorney, and just not a phone call.
No,
Phone calls don't mean nothing. They needed to be here today,
yeah.
so.
The attorney had contacted me about it too, and I said, if you want us to wait, we need some kind of written, formal request. And I think that it'd carry a lot more weight if we had some kind of a plan. If it takes them 2 years to clean it up, and that's up to us to decide if we're gonna give them that much time, but they have to have some kind of plan. We gotta see something happening, so.
Okay.
All right, let me get with the Solid Waste Management District, and we've got a meeting tomorrow anyway, so it'd be a good time to talk about it, see what we can come up with. And even if we're the ones that have to abate it and then do the work, they might work with us, or they can work with the owner, so. Yeah, if we can, we'll punt it for.
Can you guys get with Meg Alley and get confirmation of a recycling place that he's contacted that's willing to pay him for it?
Did you say that?
Yeah, it's Federal Recycling in Jeff City. He gave a specific name. I can't remember if it was Ben or what. He told me yesterday that he's been in contact with somebody at Federal Recycling.
Well, it's like I told you guys when we met out there, I don't want to award it to some person and then they get into it and all of a sudden they just walk away. I mean, so.
And we're back at square one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got to award it to the next person and then maybe they get into it and then they walk away. And so, I mean, we got people's time, we're going to have a deputy's time. I mean, it's pretty important that we can verify that Federal's going to take it and they know the condition of it and everything else, so.
Well, based on the difference between the bids and everything.
Yeah.
It would be well worth them.
Yeah, that was,
Because we're gonna need receipts. Yeah, we're gonna want receipts for dumps at the landfill, for dumping it at Federal, or, I mean.
Wherever it goes, I'll
Yep.
ask for bills of lading, because
Right.
I don't want to get it moved from this property and then have to deal with it next month at another
Right,
property.
exactly.
So,
Anyway, so can we get it back on the agenda in 2 weeks, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
contact Bill Patterson and ask him specifically who he's talked to, and then I'll follow up with that individual at Federal
Okay.
and make sure that they'll really pay for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Is there any other questions that you need from Meg Alley? I mean, I told him you know, I mentioned that he could be here today and should attempt to make it, and he intended to, but had a couple other things going on, so,
Okay. Nope, I don't think so. I mean, that would be the big one.
okay.
Okay. Okay, while we're doing this, why don't we just kind of go ahead with our abatement? Do we have somebody here on the abatement discussion of 2934 Landing Creek?
Which Sam should have done right now. This is an amendment to the DevNet contract.
May I show you these pictures I took this morning of the place?
I didn't.
We made a big drastic change of what it
Hold
looks
on,
like.
hold on. What are we doing?
Okay, this is the abatement
I
discussion.
know, we got something else going on over here. We got a sidebar, what we got? If there's a bar and I'm not invited, I get upset.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yep,
Okay,
sorry.
I'll say wait till they're done with that. All right,
okay,
so we're back onto the Landing Creek Road thing.
yes. Okay,
So we've got new pictures of progress that's been done, or?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
They're on my phone. I took them this morning before I came in.
Okay.
That's what the property looks like this morning.
So obviously, it seems like there's some confusion, and we met with Joe, was it?
He couldn't make it today because he has chemo today,
Okay, that's fine.
so he sent me instead.
Right. So obviously, I think the biggest confusion for us is the difference between what's trash and what's not trash.
Right.
And so, anyway, obviously, if we think it's sellable, I would say you need to sell it. Okay? Otherwise, a sellable item is not sellable when it's just in a pile of stuff. It's junk.
Right.
And so, anything out there that really can't be moved easily needs to be picked up and tossed
Okay.
or sold. So, is that it in a nutshell?
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
stagnant water, tires. I mean, tires aren't, you know, if they got tread on them and you can sell them, I'd sell them. But otherwise, a tire is an item that needs to go away legally. So, anyway, I'm willing to give you an extension, but we've been here before.
Right.
And we need to see drastic improvement done in the next few weeks. I mean, we just want the place to look nice.
Right.
I think at one time you had cleaned it up and it was good, and I think it's worse now than it was before, so.
Yeah. I'd really like for you to see these pictures.
Okay.
guys. If
Yeah.
it's okay if I walk up there and
Yes.
show you? I really made a big. This is from the back side of the shed. It's the front. And we've really come a long way for
Okay.
2 people
Sure.
a week.
Okay.
And we are still working on this. Like I said, he had chemo today,
Okay.
so, and then
I mean, obviously, it looks like
a lot
you
better
have
than it
done,
was,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
We are working on it, and
Mike, you think you
Show
can
that
go
to-
out and take some pictures or go out and take a visual too, so, not that we don't trust you,
that's fine.
but, just so that we can have something on record too, but, so do you think 2 weeks will give you?
2 weeks it'll be done, everything will be put away and gone.
Okay. Okay, so I move that we give the abatement order a 2-week extension.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
Okay,
gentlemen.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here.
No problem.
Okay, we will go back to,
Thanks, Joe. Mike, thank you.
bid award, Sharon
We're
Drive
gonna
Storm.
thank Donnie.
Thanks, Donnie.
Bid award, Sharon
Mr.
Drive
Mayor.
Stormwater Improvement Project number 2018-201.
What are you talking about? We're not paying attention to you.
Okay, you should have bid tabs in front of you. We did a really, really small stormwater project. We're working with the property owners. They inquired about filling in a ditch and doing some improvements on their property. And we're actually
Getting yours
in
on.
keeping with our normal
Hey, Eric,
standard.
hold on a second, please.
You got,
Was that attached to the email?
Should have been.
Yeah.
I got copies if you need a copy.
'Cause it's not on the-
yeah, it won't come up.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine. It might
You got another
have an
copy
extra
for
letter
everybody?
or something on the link or something, so.
Okay, that's fine, thanks.
Okay, we got
Thank
this
you.
little stormwater job. We're working with the property owners in which we're gonna give them some pipe, and then we did an analysis of the inlet that's existing, and they had some flooding problems last fall, last spring, serious problems. And so we needed to improve the inlet, and in turn, we're gonna be doing a section of pipe, and then they'll hook on and finish it out and improve the whole location. We kind of kicked it around whether we could do that in-house or bid it out, and the timing of the matter, they needed it done by a certain time, and so it just became a little bit easier, just we'll bid this out and not try to lock our crews into doing it within a certain time restriction, especially given now the issues with the weather that we've been having. So we bid it. The low bidder is Don Schneider's Excavating for $12,106.83, and I'd recommend approval of that award, or award it to them and sign the contract. Is there any questions?
So just a couple. Obviously, some really good bids. Prices are pretty tight, so good to see that. So is this a section of Sharon that we just resurfaced here not too long ago?
No. This is further to the west, what I would say the newer part of Sharon. If you go down Woodward Drive down to the very bottom by the lake, turn left.
Okay.
It's been resurfaced, but it's been prior to me being here.
Okay.
And we did improved an inlet on the north side of the road a few years ago, and at the time it was just isolated, just improve that inlet. In hindsight, we probably should have done them both at the same time, but we just didn't. So they had the flooding issues, and they actually had quite a big problem. And so we did analyze the inlet and decided that it was too small. So we're putting in a new inlet, bigger pipe coming out, and it'll fix up the whole situation. And plus, they'll incur some cost to put in the pipe and do some improvements on their property as well. So
Does this flow into Woodward Lake there?
No, it goes makes its way down through Bender Park.
Okay.
And down.
And so will this include the repaving, or will that be part of our overlays?
We're not actually getting into the street, just minimal along the edge, and we'll just patch that in with our own crew. So.
Right, you guys got any questions?
No, there's just a big price difference on some of them. I don't know if they realized they were putting our pipe in, or if they were including the price of pipe or what, but it is what it is, so. I'm fine with awarding it.
Okay. You got a
Yeah.
contract too?
Yeah, I do.
I move that we award and sign the contract with Don Schneider's Excavating for the Sharon Drive stormwater improvements.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have any unfinished business? Okay, we're gonna move accounts payable to the end.
Yep.
Huh?
That's the amendment to the DevNet contract. There was some chart at the back, something was included. So they did.
These all the same?
Yeah, three copies.
Okay.
There was something in there.
The original had it year 3 that
Okay.
The original contract had it year 3 that was going to Marshall and Swift for residential, and it's not. It's staying with the same system they're developing for year 1 and 2 for the assessor. That was an error on their part in the...
Just cleaning up the contract.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys good with this?
Yeah, are we just doing an addendum to it, or are we
Yeah,
changing the whole
just
contract?
an amendment.
It's
Okay,
just an amendment.
amendment, sorry.
I move that we approve and sign the amendment to the agreement with DevNet.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any other old business? Okay, we're gonna go to Clear Basin SOW. Watch your
I sent, Jill did the review of the SOW. I sent it to Clear Basin last Wednesday. Michael Witt got back to me that his attorney was out of town till late Friday, so that they probably may not have it by today. He notified me yesterday that they would not have it reviewed and back to us by today. Regardless, we're going to have to do an SOW with them, one way or the other, for us to be able to get the information that's needed for DevNet to do the, can't think of the word.
Data extraction.
Yeah, the data extraction for the information needed to run in the DevNet system, so.
But we don't have a contract or anything for that?
Well, you have the original SOW they sent, but Jill has some recommendations for changes to it, so you don't have.
I did that 2 weeks ago, almost.
So we're still waiting on them?
Yes.
So the one that he sent in his email is not the one we're using, and one has been sent already to Clear Basin?
No. The one he sent is the one that Jill reviewed and made changes to. That's what I said.
I sent that to you, Chris, and you said you were going to pass it on to them.
I'm sorry?
It's what I sent to you all, and you said you would pass it on to them.
Okay.
But Larry didn't, because it hadn't been sent yet.
So it has been sent to Clear Basin?
Larry took.
Clear Basin has it.
responsibility for that.
He has, his attorney evidently hasn't had a chance to review it, but it's the original contract with some changes that Jill has recommended.
All right, so what we
In the
need to do
meantime,
today?
we can't move forward until there is some SOW signed, so.
Okay, so can we try to get a hold of, is it Michael at Clear Basin? Maybe you can help with this, Chris, and try to expedite that process. And
I will send something today.
Okay, and then if we need to meet later this week, because obviously we need to get this executed and done so that we can move forward, right?
Correct.
So we'll just wait to hear from you guys and see if we need to schedule another meeting.
Yep.
All right.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Jill.
Okay, we'll just keep moving
Full
along.
of thank yous today, aren't you?
Yeah. Roundabout street lighting, Pioneer Trail Drive and Homeland Drive.
Okay, I'd like to introduce Gary Locke. Gary is the president of the Pioneer Terrace Homeowners Association, and Gary called me, give or take a month ago?
Yes.
3-4 weeks ago, give or take about a month ago, and brought to our attention that, and I didn't know it, maybe a few people did, but it wasn't obvious to us that there's lights actually out on Pioneer Trail Drive that are unlit. The previous developer had put those in at some point in his development, either with the street, or it seems like maybe they kind of came in afterwards. And there's 5 that are along Pioneer Trail Drive and 4 at each quadrant of the roundabout. And he was paying for them. Now, whenever that development changed hands, he quit paying, and Three Rivers basically closed the account and turned the lights off. The cost is $12.20 per light, and I don't know when they were turned off. I'm not out there at night often at all, and so you see them during the day, and you just assume that they were on, but they weren't. Gary brought to our attention, and we did some checking around, and found out that in fact had happened, and the Pioneer Terrace Homeowner Association is interested in talking to us about the possibility of the county taking over the lights actually at the roundabout, not all of them, just the ones at the roundabout, and just some information about lighting at intersections. MoDOT, their criteria for doing intersections is if it's within their right-of-way and there's divisional islands in a roundabout, then they actually do install lighting. Homeland Drive, the drawing you see there, Homeland Drive is actually complete up to the roundabout, and then the other developer to the west will probably be completing the other leg within the next few years. And so there is more traffic there, and Gary could attest to that, I'm sure. We did the sidewalk project a few years ago, so there's more pedestrians in the area. And we do have, the county does currently does lighting at the roundabout at Bighorn Drive, Old Loman and Westview, that one, and also down at the intersection of Business 50 and Pioneer Trail. And those two would meet the warrants for putting lighting at an intersection. So, and that's why we did it when we did. And so really the question is that something the county wants to get into at this roundabout? And like I said, the precedent with MoDOT, not necessarily with us, but with MoDOT, they would do that in this situation. But we typically don't do street lighting in the traditional sense, it just lights along a street. But the intersection itself kind of brings in a little bit different scenario. So I would just open it up for discussion to see what your all's thoughts are about it. Did the math, and at $12.20 times 4 times 12 months, it's about $560 a year. And I think, I don't know for sure, but I think the cost that we incur on the other two is about the same. But then we also have the signal lights down at Business 50, so that one's a little bit higher per year. So I think budget-wise, we're probably, say, below 2,000 to Ameren for lighting and signal. I don't have the number in front of me, but relatively minimal, but still it's an additional cost if we were to add this. So, any comments, thoughts, questions?
I think it's a safety concern, a liability issue. That intersection, it hasn't been just, it's been a throughway. Now we're adding the roundabout aspects of it. We're putting in 2 more entrances to that, and it's dark up there. It's really close to Pioneer Elementary School, and we're getting a lot of foot traffic there too now. The whole area is developing, and there's some concern with our homeowners association that there's going to be some accidents there. Hopefully that if we light that, it will help prevent some of that issue. And all we're asking is you light that intersection, not everything on the street. We're actually paying for our own lighting in Homeland, but that's not in our area.
That's how this originally came up, because Gary said that they do. I don't know how many lights do you have along your street?
We have 6.
6, okay.
That go from. They go.
Does that include some new ones too that Ryan?
Yes.
Okay, 6 total. So
we pay for those, but we didn't feel like we should be responsible for the intersection up there, since there's other developers in the area. There's precedents that the county has paid for roundabouts in other areas.
So Eric, you said Bighorn Drive was one where we did have lights, and there is 4 there.
There's 4 there, yeah.
Where else?
There's, they're installed, they're actually part of the signal pole, mounted on the pole down at Pioneer Trail and Business 50, down just below here.
Do we have other lights at other signals?
That's our only signal that we have.
It's the only signal in the whole county?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let's get rid of it. Just teasing.
My only question is going to be, do we need all 4 of the lights? I can see there being a reason for a light there, but 4 of them, when they developed it, I'm sure, okay, let's do this, let's make it all pretty, and then we're going to give it to the county, and it's their problem.
to spare y'all getting real technical, I won't do that, but there is some design in how you place those lights and what kind of illumination you get around
It's
there. And I-
engineering stuff.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you, I was gonna need 2 more cups of coffee.
All right. Jeff, I mean, yeah, you could. The sidewalk is on, that would be the east or south leg. But I don't know, I think if you just did the 2 of them, I think you might find that you probably want to just do them all after the fact.
Well, sometimes lighting 1 or 2 makes it worse than having none.
I don't think we realized how dark that intersection was until Homeland was connected, because it was pretty much a
It was a through street, more or less,
street.
yeah.
You just run around it. Now, when you have people that are coming up from Homeland, and there's more traffic coming that way, that realize that there's foot traffic, and there's also some vehicles, and much more than what there used to be. The whole area is developing. There's going to be a lot more residential out there, and commercial. So I just think it was something we ought to present to you.
I'm kind of like you, I don't like another bill, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I just, I mean, since we are doing it at Bighorn and there is 4 lights there, it's probably a similar situation, but you engineers need to figure out how to do it without lights.
Moonlight.
Both of them have that.
Yeah.
So can you do solar on future ones, so you don't even have to have a bill? Or does it cost you that much more to make it?
I think
really-
actually LED is probably the way they're going on most of that lighting. But,
Oh, you still have a bill though.
right, yeah, you're right,
Figure
exactly.
if it's solar, you know, you got your initial cost of it up front, and then you don't have to worry about the bill every month, so. I mean, I'm fine doing it. We've got precedent of doing it before.
I guess my only concern is, I mean, obviously, I think this is more critical because it's at an intersection. But I mean, I'd like to see us have something in place that we're gonna light intersections, and, because I could see other intersections coming and saying, well, you did it at that intersection, now we want lights at our intersection, and so, you know, that might be a 4-way stop, or it might be a 2-way stop, or whatever, but hey, it's dark. Well, you know what? You live in the county, it is dark.
The only thing I'll say about that is continuous.
You just
Right.
have to take each
So the
one as it
traffic
comes
does not
up.
stop.
It's-
Right.
And that makes it a little more dangerous for pedestrians and for traffic out there, vehicles.
Yeah.
Well, this one's different.
Yeah, no,
Because we
I
took
get it,
it
but
over.
I mean, we're out in the county, I mean, we're dodging deers and we're doing a lot of things too, so.
We're paying for lighting in the county too.
I know, but that's benefiting you, and so, I mean, I'm looking out for everybody, and so I just wanna make sure that what we do here doesn't lead to us doing more and more lighting, because we gotta work on streets. I mean, we gotta keep our streets up. We keep getting bills for lights, we
Well,
gotta
we
do
keep it
less
out of the
streets.
News Tribune. Nobody else will know.
So, what were you gonna say, Jeff? Sorry.
Oh, I was saying this one's a little different situation, because the light was there when we took it over.
Right.
We didn't build that intersection, we didn't do it, so this is kind of one of those that comes to you in a different way than when you built it. Or if somebody comes to us now and says, hey, we got a roundabout, we want lights there too. Well, we built that one, and we decided it didn't need lighting at that time, that's the way it is. And I mean, I like the argument that everybody pays for their roads, but if you really go look at your property tax, I don't know, maybe there's $48 or something like that goes to Public Works. I hate that argument, not to pick on you, but I get it all the time, and, you know, if you look at it, you don't pay that much into it. I mean, overall, there's a lot more that goes into it than just your property tax, so I just hate that argument. But I'm okay with putting the lights.
So good
Yeah.
question. So, I mean, if a developer comes to us and wants to put a roundabout in a subdivision, are we gonna require them to pay for the lights in the future?
I think the thing that gets this one is it's got those, what we call splitter islands or divisional islands. That's where it falls into that category of, yes, you would light it. The development just north of the Parkview subdivision off of Henwick, they put, it's kind of just a turnaround. It does not have divisional islands, so it really wouldn't, even though it has kind of a center median, it kind of looks like a roundabout in the shape, it really wouldn't qualify for lighting. But I think we probably need to have something in place that this is our policy on it. Don't you agree?
Well, I just think, I mean, obviously, say you put in development and there's a great big long straight shot that splits the development or whatever, and so maybe they put a roundabout in there to just try to slow the traffic down a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, maybe better for them, maybe they want to do it, maybe they don't want to do it, maybe aesthetically it makes sense, but, you know, now here comes the question is, okay, we put lights in it, and now we accept it as a county road, and who's going to pay for the lights? So, I mean, the homeowners association. Not to pick on you, but I think we're good to pay for your lights. Anyway, so, but just trying to look into the future a little bit here, so.
Yeah.
So
everybody good?
Gary's got some investment in it with his association,
Sure.
what they are paying for. The other 5 along the road, I guess that would be left up to the individual property owners or maybe the new developer. We're not going to get into that right now, and don't have any intention to. It's just at the roundabout. So.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I think we're good.
You ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make the contact with Three Rivers, get them set up, and if we need to make any tweaking in our budget, we will.
I've never run into one like this, so it's a little different animal, something we can watch for. And
Yep.
we need to have policy.
Gary,
in place,
Gary,
so-
thank you
Yeah,
for coming.
you.
Thanks, Gary, for coming. Good to see you.
Okay. Stormwater issues in Apache Flats.
Okay, this, there's been a few different odds and ends, stormwater related, that have kind of come up over the past few months, and since I was coming up here anyway, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to just get these things back on the table and start talking about them. And I can just go through the list. We've talked here and there, mostly kind of came out of the rains we had last spring, about the county embarking on a project to do some detention storage in the Apache Flats area. And we do have the old lagoon properties, one behind Gateway and Brookview Circle, and then the other one, Vale of Tears property, kind of backs up to Larry's Honda in that area in there. And I haven't looked really in depth of how effective they would be at putting a detention basin in this area, but it definitely wouldn't hurt things. It'd probably help. We're getting the Apache Flats area, and one of the next items further on down, you know, they do have stormwater issues. They've had them for years. Things are not getting better, and I think if there's an opportunity that we could do some things in the area, you know, it's at least worth investigating to see how effective this would be, and cost-wise to build a basin. Probably you're not talking about a whole lot. It's mostly just doing some grading work, and then you have some sort of a drainage structure that lets the water out a little bit slower. Like I said, we've kind of kicked this around a little bit, mostly with Chris through the Road and Bridge Advisory Committee, in discussion with them. And so just wanted to bring it to the full commission to see what your all's thoughts were. If we were to do something, probably the first step would be to hire an engineering company to look at it, do just some rough analysis to see how effective it would be to do something, and then we can kind of get into what a cost would be before we get into too much design. I don't want to design something right off the bat and then it really not be that effective. So let's make sure that if we're going to do something, it's going to provide some results. So before I move on to the other 2 items, I wanted to get your all's feedback on that. And also, just so you know, there is some money in the budget this year, in the sales tax budget, for stormwater related items. which this would fall under. So I would just take it out of this year's sales tax line item for stormwater.
How many more do we have coming down the pipe?
As far as building new detention basins or new developments or?
Well, anything. I mean, we need to address them, but these are all on the west side. So.
You're getting all the money this year for your roads.
I was kind of hoping you'd
You got
remember
issues
that
on-
part.
you got issues on the east side?
We're not as congested on
East
the
Capitol, East High.
Well, anytime this comes
Lafayette.
up though, luckily we haven't had that issue on the east side. But overall too though, I mean, how many more of these are we gonna be having to look at down the road? I mean, it'd be good to start with some of these and test some things and see what works, like you said, to get it engineered, make sure it's gonna work.
Well, I think it's hard to fix what's already in place. I mean, here we got an opportunity with 2 properties that we have.
Right.
So, you know, in other places, there's not a whole lot you can do until you start tearing down houses or, you know, drastically trying to do something, so.
I'm okay with moving forward and trying to get a plan together for these. But I'm just curious how much more in the future we're gonna have to worry about. I know some of them we're doing now, especially ones out in Wardsville area, they have their own detention basins, and we're really looking at that before we approve their subdivisions, so it's some mitigation there beforehand.
Sorry to interrupt. As we move forward, we're working on it slowly, but we are working on a stormwater plan, ordinance, a lot of different factors that would require developers to install detention as they build their subdivision, so we're not adding to problems that already exist. There's some movement along the old Lowman corridor north of Westview with some property owners there to do a new development, and it would be required as part of that they do detention. So,
good.
Does that answer your question? Any new stuff is going to be
right.
Yeah, taken care of.
I think we're being proactive as far as future stuff.
Yeah.
Or just how much more of the stuff's we're gonna find out. Because these have been here for a long time, and now there's some other development that's happened and causing some of this stuff to be even worse, so.
Yeah, I'd say, actually the development we just talked about with the roundabout, some of that does feed into the one on Brookview and Gateway. Most of that stormwater stuff has been in place for a while, so we're not adding a whole lot to that, but yeah, we will be adding a little bit. I think you could probably work with the school district a little bit on that one there, and maybe utilize some of their property below that practice baseball field there.
So is it some of the old stuff failing, or is it just that much more, or is it both?
I think nothing's really failing. I think it's just, we're seeing a lot heavier rains, and I think we're finding that the creeks are, they're filling in, they're just not adequately, the water's just not moving through like they used to, and things are backing up, and there's some pipes that are probably undersized. Maybe we're okay back in the day, but I think rains just are worse than what they used to be. And then, like I said, you got more development, just keeps on adding to it, so.
You got more asphalt and more concrete. I don't know what the Marine Corps League's gonna do.
Theirs is a little unique, and I've talked to them a little bit about that. Probably a discussion for another time. I need to talk to them some more. I think it has a little bit to do with their pipe that they put in, but I don't know. Like I said, why is this coming up now? I think the problems have been there for a while, especially Apache Flats further on down. Those have been issues for a while. I just think the recent storms we've had have been worse than what we've been used to seeing, and it's kind of bringing the stormwater thing to a forefront, especially with the city. They've hired a new crew to just do stormwater repairs. They're probably in a little worse situation than we are as far as funding to go towards that, so they've made some changes, but we've been trying to fix some of these things as we can. I think just the next step is probably looking at a little more seriously about detention storage and trying to slow some of this stuff down so it doesn't impact the people downstream so bad. The next issue, Ravenwood Drive, stormwater problems, and that's kind of a little bit of what's driving this. Talked to a property owner, actually a few down in there, and the next sheet on there, it's got a little oval circled where really the issue is, and part of it's, I think, it's a private road, private, subdivision in which we don't maintain any of that in there, so we really can't go in and do anything for them. They got a little bridge, it's kind of, I think, blocking water, backing things up and not helping them, but we got this triple cell, I think it's a triple box culvert under Business 50, which the box culvert's adequate, fine, and it's in good shape and does fine, but there's I think over the years there's a property just south and east of there that they've kind of encroached a little bit into the stream way before we've had any input on that, and before the Corps maybe knew about it or really regulated that. And so it's kind of created a bend in which you're getting a pretty good gravel bar there. So, we could go in and do some cleaning out of that entrance area of the box culvert, which would definitely help the situation down there. But I don't think it totally alleviates the Ravenwood problem, but it at least allow what gets closer to the box culvert to flow through a little more freely. But in doing that, you got to work with the Corps of Engineers, you got to work with DNR, and you're also really kind of getting off of our right-of-way to do cleaning out of that. Now, we have done that in around bridges, in which we go do some channel clearing, not in the sense that it would violate the Corps of Engineers policies, but we work with them to clean out what we can to let these boxes flow a little bit better and not choke up. So that would be another item to think about. Do we want to get into doing some cleanup work there, or at least work with the property owner to help them through that process? As it affects our box culvert, I think, we could probably work with them if they want to do work on upstream, help them work through the Corps of Engineers process, which really isn't that hard to do. But if you've never done it before, it could be a little daunting to look at. So we could help them work through that. The fourth item on the list there, and this one came about last spring, analyzing this drainage way through Brookview Drive and Gateway Drive. A couple properties right there on the corner have had some issues, and I'd like to just do an analysis of that to see what the actual problem is. We did something similar on Kleffner Drive about a year or two ago, and relatively inexpensive just for somebody to look at it, run some calcs just to see what's going on and what we could do to improve it. So I'd like to get your all's approval to go ahead and move forward just doing the analysis of that one in particular. That'd be the fourth picture on the list. So, and that one actually feeds into the Brookview Gateway Detention Storage picture, the first one. So we are coming upon the time of year where we get a lot of issues and get a lot of calls on stormwater. And
so what are you gonna analyze on? You're gonna analyze all four of them? Is there, are you gonna put an RFP out, or
we would look at our current qualifications that we have on file from the local consultants and select the best one suited. The one on Brookview Gateway, the fourth picture, it'd just be simply looking at the two stream crossings and some inlets in the street. The consultant that did the design work just north of there that feeds into that, we probably just have them do it just because they've got the calcs already for upstream of that. The other two, we'd probably have to look a little more into the qualifications just to see who the best suited one would be for the detention storage basins.
And then Ravenwood,
I think it's a little bit different situation just because it is off a right of way. It's in a private
Okay.
private roads. I don't know to what extent we want to get involved, maybe not at all. In talking with the property owners, I think they understand that it is theirs to deal with, and anything we could do would probably be just limited at the box culvert to alleviate issues at the box culvert under Business 50. We really couldn't go upstream.
Which wouldn't really be that hard, right?
And physically getting down in there might be a challenge. Doing the actual work, not really, just getting down in there. Right? I don't want to commit you to anything.
Give him a shovel, some boots.
I mean, you know, we can,
So it's a detention basin at behind Business 50 there, and then a detention basin at Gateway, and then Ravenwood is some cleanup in the channel, maybe?
probably more or less just channel cleanup, you know, cleaning out the channel clean out would be a good term for that.
And then what are you thinking there at Brookview Drive there in Gateway? I mean,
The only thing I want to do is just analyze to see, we got pipes and inlets and everything in place.
right?
But they've had flooding problems, and I just want to find out why. If it's something simple that we can fix, let's do it. Yeah, hopefully. I have my suspicions that the drainage coming down from the north, there's an inlet there that kind of captures it on the backside. I think that might be a little sized a little funny, leading to the problems. But then there's the crossroad pipe under Gateway that could be undersized. Maybe there's some things we actually did. We went in and cleaned out some trees. There's some debris and some larger rocks and concrete kind of in front of that pipe. We did clear that out just to free up that opening a little bit. So
I know I did some work under that, on that west side of Gateway there, and it's been bad for a long time, so I can't imagine you putting in a bigger pipe there. You're gonna have to buy that house.
well, yeah, that's all part of what we look at, and
So
I'm not so sure that the way that water comes out, it kind of directs to the left there, and I know where you're talking about.
Yeah.
But that's part of doing the evaluation, is it's gonna tell us more about it.
We'd be able to find out for sure what's happening.
That way, when they do come to us, say we need to do something, we can tell them it's not gonna fix it by making this pipe bigger. All it's gonna do is push more down to the next house, and which they'll be fine with, but. But I mean, it's not as simple as water runs downhill. There's a whole lot more to it, and I don't know, when they back up, there's big logs that people throw in the ditches or trash or stuff that'll probably alleviate a lot of it. Quit throwing their leaves and stuff in there.
We have a lot of issues, or not we, but I've seen a lot of issues that people have had with that whole stream through there, of people dumping all their tree limbs and whatever in there, and it just causes things to clog up, and
I think we need to be proactive.
so I think if it's a facility that we're maintaining and responsible for, if there is an issue, I'd like to find out what it is. It may say that no, it's adequate, we just need to tweak one thing or another. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at on it. So cost, I think, is minimal. I just want to make sure we're on the same page before I move forward with it.
So what do you anticipate the cost for the engineering to be?
The last one we did was under $4,500. I wouldn't even think it'd be that much. This one's a smaller drainage area.
And you got it in the budget.
Yeah, it's
So-
within our,
I mean, that's what we got it in there for, the stormwater stuff.
yeah.
Figure out where the problems are, if that's what you wanna do, Chris, on the tax.
Yeah, I mean,
first floor.
I think it'd be a good evaluation, but, once we get that done, and obviously if there are issues with people putting brush and yard waste or whatever in their creek, I mean, then that's something that we can use to go back to the homeowners and say, hey, you need to keep your creeks cleaned up, because otherwise it's gonna lead to flooding, and, you know, that's not necessarily our fault, it's, you know, kind of put it back on them, so.
Probably better put that out in every subdivision we got.
Mm-hmm.
And even way above them. I mean, it can get backed up a mile down the creek from somebody's throwing stuff in there. Because once you get them toad stranglers coming through, it takes everything. And all it takes is one limb or something to start stopping stuff. And, you know, pretty soon you got people's kids' toys from their backyards down there, and it's blocked it too. And I don't know. Doors. They have
Christmas
stuff laying in
trees.
their yards.
We had that heavy rain last spring, and brought to you several different items, just to let you know what had happened, and we're kind of picking those off as we've gone. We've done shear, we've done charm, those are fixed. Working on South Brooks, part 1, part 2, I'm gonna bring to you a contract to do the design on that within the next month or so. So we are picking these things off. Trying to look, you know, beyond just doing the fix, you know, looking upstream and making sure that we're adequately designing these to where any future work that we do in the area doesn't adversely affect what we just finished, so.
Yeah, I got smart.
These have had problems, you know, just about every year. It doesn't have to be the torrential downpour. And, you know, I'm not joking, I'm glad they're on the west side. We've got one that's kind of a pain, but that's in the city limits of another incorporated area, so it's not really our problem, so luckily we don't have to deal with it, so.
Keep in mind too, though, I mean, the event that Eric's talking about is something that none of our systems would take. I mean, it was what, 3 inches in an hour? I mean, we aren't designed to take 3 inches in an hour. I mean, so.
Nothing is.
No, I mean, so if we get a rain like that again, our systems won't handle it. I mean, and that's what people need to realize, is that our systems aren't designed to take that kind of volume of rain that quick.
Don't feel left out, Jeff, you got plenty in you.
We're just not talking about them today.
Ours are more creeks and overpasses and stuff like that, I think, than the subdivisions, though, luckily.
No, I think, yeah.
What we do on these, when we go and do these fixes, normal pavement drainage is done on a 10-year storm. Pipes are usually a 25, but when we have areas where you got a house that the basement elevation is susceptible, we'll do it on a 100-year. And it does increase your pipe size a little bit, not tremendously. So we do look at that areas that, yeah, they're flood prone. We do try to do a little bit extra just to alleviate some of those issues.
I think there's a lot of it where people have had the problems and they didn't disclose it when they sold their property, and somebody buys it and says, well, the county's letting my basement get flooded. Oh no, it's been flooded 72 times before, and you bought into it.
Well, but, you know, even when you design on a 100-year storm, and we've had several of those in the past 20 years, I mean, you know, I mean, your design is there, but when you're having 100-year events several times in 20-year period.
Yeah, look at Natchez Trace.
Yeah. Well, look at the Missouri River.
Yeah.
So, you know.
One thing you cannot design for is the big tree limb that comes down and clogs it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and that's educating people, just trying to get them not to do that. Take them to the compost site.
I didn't say that.
Any compost site.
There you go. Recycle. There you go.
Osage County.
Yeah, Osage County, yeah. Take them to the east side of Cole County.
Oh, I'm glad I'm right in the middle.
You're right in the middle, you're an East Ender. Dump it off at Sam's house.
We're up on a bluff, so it all goes down the hill.
So what do you need, an approval to get it evaluated not to exceed a certain amount?
I don't have any dollars right now. I can bring some more stuff to you. I want to make sure that we're on the same page. So when I do bring something to you, it's not a surprise and, whoa, you know, I want to make sure we're all.
Okay, so they're going to get kind of an estimate of what they think it'll cost to do the evaluation, and then you'll bring it back to us.
I like
I mean,
being
if it's under
proactive,
four-
I think that's good.
If it's under 4,500, I mean, I'm fine with you proceeding with it.
Yeah, we don't have to do a contract
If you
for
think
that.
that's gonna be an amount.
I'd say that small one, yeah, probably, the detention stuff, that's gonna be more, a little more in-depth
Alright, well,
design. So
that's fine.
we'll do a contract on that one. But it'll be, I just wanna, I had an opportunity to talk about a few things, I just wanna do that, and then we'll kinda know how to move forward the rest of the year on this.
Yep, sounds good.
Yep, nice, thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Eric.
no, thank you.
Okay. Do we want to go back to accounts payable review?
Can. I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending review. I know there was an email sent yesterday, one of the invoices that were previously approved. But you can talk about it in open session, or you can talk about it in closed.
So obviously that was invoices for DevNet.
Yeah.
Okay, so, are we good to pay them? Are we not good to pay them? Where are we at?
So the concern is that he didn't know whether we should pay it before we get a signed contract with Clear Basin. Because we currently don't have a signed contract with them. But I'm not sure that that affects DevNet's contract that was signed. I mean, we're paying for the first year's agreement with DevNet.
Well, I think, talking with y'all earlier, the agreement with DevNet really has nothing to do with our agreement with Clear Basin. Clear Basin is our problem, not DevNet's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when I hear that, and I kind of think that we should go ahead and pay DevNet as we said we would, right?
I mean, we're not paying DevNet the entire first year costs. We're paying pretty much the, kind of like the maintenance agreement or whatever so that they can get started on the work. They're waiting on Clear Basin's agreement to get the data dump.
Okay. So I hear that you're good with paying the bill?
I don't have a problem paying the DevNet bill.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, we got, that Chris had said that he was withdrawing his approval of it. So we're gonna still need his approval? I mean, or we need to explain to him that this is where we're coming from, that the Clear Basin really is our problem, not
Yeah.
DevNet's?
Well, I think his misunderstanding, the way I read his email was the 88,000 was the full cost of a PO that I had asked Alvin to approve was the PO. And then, so we could get that first invoice attached to it, which was 26,000, his portion of that invoice. I never did hear back from him, but technically you guys have the final approval of what gets spent out of the assessment fund. So if you want to go ahead and push it through, we can do that. If you'd rather wait, I don't know what this would mean. It does say in the contract that on or before February 1st, that we would pay that amount. So I don't know, waiting until Clear Basin, and I'm the same way, I don't think that one has anything to do with the other, because we have a current contract with DevNet, and we owe them what we owe them. So it's really up to you. I mean, I could try to call Chris and explain to him that you guys did approve it, and that we're gonna pay the bill, if you'd like me to.
What happened the last time you refused to pay an IT bill?
Is it? Peter's
Let's not
problem.
talk about that.
I say just pay it.
I mean, I'm good with moving forward. I mean, we need to keep our end of the deal. I think DevNet's keeping their end of the deal. So our problem is with the other vendor, and we'll get that worked out, so.
I think Chris's concern is that you won't sign an SOW at all.
No, I don't think that's the case at all. And I think there's just a few little issues in the contract that we need worked out, and it's our data,
I don't think he understands that.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, there may be some issues with that data and the conversion of that data to get into DevNet. And I'm aware that we may have to incur more costs to enter that data or to merge that data or to do something there. I mean, I think that was presented when they were here, that somebody was gonna have to do it, and we may not have the staff to do it, so in a timely
And there
fashion.
was money put in the budget to pay Clear Basin for a time period to get the data converted. So that money is in the budget also.
So, you guys okay with paying
Yeah, I'm-
bills?
Yeah, I think we need to.
I think, yeah.
I just want to make sure we clarify with Chris where
Anything
we're
else
coming
in there?
from as far as.
Another one we probably need to kind of talk about just a little bit is our agreement with rent from the fire stations.
Mm-hmm.
They were a little late in submitting their bills, so we got all of 2017 in one lump sum in January. So those two bills are in there. I think they need to be paid. But we may want to have some discussions about those agreements going forward and whether or not we need to change anything or I know Jerry has talked with the fire stations about getting them a little more timely.
I think we need to talk about it, maybe at budget time if nothing else, because we're pretty much already agreed to this year's, right, for 2018. And as far as paying it.
I don't know if there's any agreement in place.
It's a continual agreement.
I think it's maybe a gentleman's agreement,
There is an actual signed agreement that renews annually,
okay,
unless either party decides they want to back out of it.
okay.
So I think there is some room for discussion if you want to adjust.
When
agreement.
when was that agreement executed? Do we know?
I don't think I scanned it.
We probably haven't signed anything new every year,
No, it's not a new agreement signed every year.
It's the initial one. but-
Right.
so probably, we can probably negotiate it any time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say we can't really have a renewable agreement, can we?
It's always subject to annual appropriation, so
Anyway, I just think it's something that we need to have a discussion either with the fire districts that are there, and I would like to see us get to a flat monthly fee for each station that's the same. I mean, we got one ambulance at each station. We need the same amount of space, so.
I'm fine with that as long as they're there at the same time. I think one of them spent more time at one of the stations is what came across on one of the emails. But yeah, we need to look at it, and I think the flat fee would make more sense. It's no different than paying rent for your apartment or whatever. This makes it a lot easier to budget too, but it'd be different if it was our building. We had the electric and DirecTV or whatever.
that's currently what the agreement is. In one station, we pay 100% of the utility bills. In the other station, we're paying half of the utility bills. I think it's depending on whether or not they have staff that's in the building all the time or not.
Right.
Things have changed a lot since we first entered into those agreements, so it's probably a good time to review them.
Yeah.
And it would definitely make our life easier if it was a set dollar amount that we could budget and know that this is what we have to pay, and we could pay it on a more timely basis to them.
Okay.
Maybe at the next chiefs meeting, we can talk with them.
Yeah, are we gonna have Jerry kind of reach out to them and tell them kind of what we're thinking and just, that we'd like to get a monthly rental fee or whatever versus a reimbursement on utilities?
And right now, the agreement does state that they're supposed to submit those quarterly. I think he has reached out and asked that they start to do those quarterly so we can keep a little more timely with our payments.
Right. So that kind of leads into this transfer that we got here for this year to go ahead and transfer more money to pay for last year's utility bills.
2017.
So obviously, we already have the money in the budget to pay it. And so I don't see the need to transfer the money right now. I mean, obviously, we may have to transfer it later in the year, but we have money in the budget to pay this already.
That's the way I understood it. If we get the bills, is this for all of 2017?
Yeah.
So as soon as they bill us for 2018, then we're gonna have to, if they actually start doing it quarterly,
Right.
then in April or somewhere, we're gonna have to do a transfer.
Yeah.
But at some point, we had money left over because we didn't get the bills, so it's all a wash.
Right.
It is, but there will be a transfer.
Let's just
But
do
I
a
just-
transfer when we need to.
Right, I mean, it's February. I mean, we shouldn't be transferring money in February.
So the agreement, originally went into effect on January 1st, 2014, and it says it will automatically renew on January 1st of each year unless notice of cancellation is received within 90 days. So I think that this year's agreement automatically renewed January 1st, but I think some discussions need to be had about what to do with the agreement going forward.
Okay. Well, somebody needs to just go meet with either the chief at each station or each district or whatever, and then try to either set up a meeting or get them to come and see us or whatever we need to do to
It'd be
try
nice
to
if
work
it was
that
just
out.
one big district,
Yeah.
one person to deal with. Be so much nicer.
I mean, I don't see it as we're trying to cheat anybody out of it, but at the same time, we shouldn't be paying 100% for one and 50% for another. I mean, we need a consistent agreement. We're gonna pay you rent. You use it to
Well, and I
pay
think our
whatever.
scheduling has changed a little bit in the time frame too. We were, I think, 24 hours
Right.
at one station, and now we're 12-hour shifts. So
Right.
that may have changed some of our usage of their building a little bit.
Probably ought to review all those every year. Get all like 72,000 of them out for us during budget time. We love looking at those.
So, do we want to reach out to them and have them come to a meeting, or do we want to do it, just one of us go talk to them?
I'd have Jerry talk to him and.
Okay, we'll
if
have
he's-
Jerry do it.
Yeah, and then that way they can talk without having to have everybody here and having it
Yeah, and then if
posted and
Jerry-
stuff and.
Okay, so the direction we want to give Jerry is that we would like to see a monthly rental fee for each station.
I'm fine with the flat rate. I think it'd be fair for both parties and pick a number.
Good?
Yeah.
I mean, at least try to
Yeah,
come
try
up with
to-
a number for each and then we just send them a check every month and they can pay their bills with it or whatever, so.
Well, I think things have changed too, since we no longer have the 24. So that one needs to be revisited regardless.
And I think one of the facilities we're only using during the day and not at night, just
Okay.
station a vehicle or whatever.
Yeah, so that should be,
Okay, so I'll send Jerry a message and
okay.
we'll have him work on that.
And we'll wait on that transfer until
Yep.
we receive another bill.
Yeah.
Yes.
There wasn't one slipped in there, was there? I was just gonna fold it in half.
Like with Chris without his beard, man, he's just really forceful. Yeah, looked like Grizzly Adams before, and now he just.
Not nearly as effective without the beard though. He's kind of more imposing with that beard. He looks a lot bigger.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Bigger.
More scary.
Fuller.
Kind of like a bear.
He said he did it because of Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
so.
Well, that gets you out buying chocolates and roses.
Oh, no.
So I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending review.
Okay. I move that we approve accounts payable pending review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anything else before we go into closed session?
No, I mean, you want to talk about that letter there and,
Yeah, we received this February 8th on the Point Royal development, which is out off of Old Lowman Road. This is, it's in the city, but it's, they asked if we would write a letter of support. Carrie has already done so, and
it's in Cole County too, Sam.
I know.
Okay.
And it will be moderate income housing.
That's the development that
Gary
Gary
Oberchrome.
Oberchrome and Dick Ike's probably
Yeah.
gonna build, but this is the outfit that's trying to apply for the affordable housing.
32
federal credits.
apartments consisting of 22 bedroom and 12 three-bedroom.
Where is that compared to Primrose?
It's on the other side of the roundabout,
It's on the fairground side of the roundabout.
yeah.
There was a potential business park there, and it's actually called, what's that road called, Sam? Trade Center Parkway.
Yeah.
It goes, if you're coming from the roundabout
Train,
towards the
yeah.
fairgrounds, it's on the right. It was before you get to Modine, kind of backs up to Westview on the
It's-
east side, yep.
Yeah.
Well, you've got another request as well.
Right.
That's not
We do.
the only
Yeah.
one, so I
Right.
think if we're gonna talk about them together, or we're gonna take each individually?
No, I was gonna mention that
Okay.
too, and so, Colonial Apartments or Cedar Ridge
Right.
Apartments is wanting to apply for some federal tax credits as well for a development out in the same area. And so I'm good with, both of them do have stormwater detention basins. And so, anyway, I'm good with both of them, writing a letter for both.
Do they have a template or something that we just kind of fill in
This one
blanks
does.
for, or do we got?
Yeah.
Something up?
I'm pretty sure Bo sent me something on that, so
Okay.
I can.
Good Lord, they write a book?
Just several
Can't you just
pages.
write a letter and
It
say, we
was-
support this? Oh, that's just the cover page.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't need it.
Well,
I just wonder if they got
I
something.
thought you wanted to read it.
You gonna handwrite it? That would add some personal touch to it. I'll get you a ruler, you can draw 3 lines, and we'll write our names underneath them, we can all sign it then.
I think we'll let Melody take care of it. God, shave your beard off.
That ain't gonna make- I said thank you to a lot of people this morning. That's nice.
Okay.
Well, next Wednesday is that port feasibility study thing, and are y'all gonna be able to make that?
Yeah, I plan on it.
I got MAC board meeting at 10 and Campo at 12. Nobody ever asked me about this meeting. I'm a little agitated about it. I mean, they said, well, there was a small window of time that they could make it here and make the presentation. Well, that's bull hockey, because we paid them a lot of money to be here and do this study. They ought to find a time when most of us can be there and give us some options. That's the worst day of any of them that you could have picked to do it. Are you all gonna be able to make it?
I'm gonna try to make it.
I'm planning on it, yeah.
And since you brought that up, there is our first payment in this AP for that.
Don't ask me to pay it right now. I'm not in
And
a
this-
good mood about that.
In this accounts payable? Yeah, we're not, we don't have a plan for this year yet. So, you look bewildered.
Well, they dated their invoicing and stuff for 17. So I don't remember exactly what.
Are you talking about the
scheduling.
port feasibility study, or are you
Yes.
talking about the chambers?
I was talking about the chambers.
Yeah.
No,
I think he was
I'm talking
the-
about port
yeah.
feasibility.
Oh,
But it's through the chamber.
Yes, but it's not our
Right.
quarterly.
So,
No.
It's not our
okay.
contract with it, but it is.
It's not the
feasible.
chamber, yes, the port feasibility, study. It's a totally different thing.
Yes, okay.
so are we paying the full amount?
No,
Well, it's the
14,000.
first,
It should be the first
it was the first
stage
portion or
or
first
phase.
Yeah,
phase
which
of
was
it.
supposed to have been done in October.
And I think that's why they have it dated from 17 is the.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're paying just a portion of it. Okay, I'm good with that. I thought we were talking about
Paying the
something else.
47,600.
No, that's the total. And we're only paying 14,850.
Okay,
And it's
Okay.
28% of our share. It's 28, we are 28% of the share. No, as far as I know, you guys are still working.
I would think they'd want their money before they gave us the results. Because what if we don't like them? Make a good point, don't I?
Well, don't pay them by next Wednesday, you gotta reschedule it, right? They may have to make it.
Gotta reschedule my payment.
I'm serious, I didn't get asked about if a date worked.
No, I didn't either on that one. We did.
All right, I'm done with it. Just wanna have my little pity party because I didn't get asked about it.
Okay.
Anything else, Jeff?
Okay, took care of them letters, poor thing. We'll get hold of them about that Russellville stuff, and we're gonna just do that for 2 weeks from now.
If that works, I mean, if you need more time than that.
That should be fine, I'm gonna try to know something by next week, really.
Okay.
And then I think that's about it. We got closed session yet too, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready to go into closed
Yep.
session? I move we go into closed session pursuant to section 610.021 of the revised statutes of Missouri for legal actions, sub 1.
Second.
Roll call?
Sam?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.